Took a deal, signed another deal, post up in the hills on the real, headed for a mill, travel with me still, getting kills, all this pop appeal, got these pop stars try popping in, and they getting pop for real, I ain't tryna build, I was tryna lead a mill, getting to it, before I hopped up off the block, I was still going through it, friends doing pills, and came faster than it should've, I was Buddy Hill, shooting at a pace soon as I pull up, dropping buckets, hey, yeah, like it's nothing. In the kitchen chopping onions, yeah. Tears falling down, underdog is finally overcoming, cause I'm dropping buckets, hey, yeah, like it's nothing, hey. Earn my respect and burn a budget, hey. Tears falling down, underdog is finally overcoming, baby, yeah, I'm dropping buckets. Drop some cash for me, don't worry about my past for me. I'm driving with no gasoline, this life I live's a fantasy. Yeah, I do this for my dogs, all my day ones and my family. My life gon' live through them if I end up in any tragedies. I hope y'all understand this shit got bigger cause it had to be. I always knew I had it, but just not at this capacity. I recognize the gravity, closer to the summit, stacking chips and counting nuggets. I've been stunting, baby, cause I'm dropping buckets.
This is Groundeffected. My name is your dad. Today's video was sponsored by Abe 3D, and if you think that intro was epic, well, you're not getting any more of that. And that's because maybe you may not know about this, but making a video something like what you just seen has taken me at least 3 times the amount of time it would take me to paint that, and I already have to record all this stuff and make the video anyway. This is not me complaining, by the way. I'm just telling you that we could have some pretty cool videos if there were 400 hours in a day, but unfortunately there isn't, and I have models to make. So let's just make some models. Of course, you saw that I primed everything. That was what that epicness was about. And now it's time to start painting the actual base of this model. I have done this technique before where I turned down my airbrush and I basically spit the paint out of my airbrush to make a sandy effect on a base. This works very well for sand things and not so well for if you're trying to get a smooth skin tone. So if you're very good at spitting with your airbrush, well then maybe you should just paint sand and not anything else. I don't know what you do in your spare time, but what I do is paint models, and painting this model is going to require a little bit of technique, but nothing too crazy, and I really do feel that most people can learn these techniques with just a little bit of practice. So on the base there are some rocks, and we need to paint the rocks. What we know about rocks is they work best when you paint them over black. So I painted them black first. After painting them black, I took a medium gray and dry brushed that over the top of them. I'm now going to take some deck tan and smash that over the top of these rocks to help pick out all of the edges that are raised on these rocks. Now that the rocks are literally done, I can move on to putting a base coat on the tree trunk that is on the base itself. Of course, we don't want to start out dry brushing over the top of a sandy color, because that sandy color will be in the in-between bits, in the crevasses on the tree trunk, and we don't want that. I also realized that I wanted to add a little bit more texture to this, so I did another layer of skeleton horde, and that was to get some more depth into the shadowed areas, and then I took some dust and speckled that back over the base again. Whilst that dries though, I'm going to quickly add the coat of paint on top of these bushes that are on the base. You may notice that before I painted them blue, and that was because that is my shadows. That is a cool color to be in the shadows, and not because I'm saying that it's cool. I'm just saying that because it's cool, shadows are cold, and then you need to use a cool color. You don't have to, that is not the rule. It's kind of like the thing you want to try and do, but you can break these rules once you understand them. However, we're not going to break any rules. We're just going to follow them. Blue in the shadows, a nice green over the top of the rest of the plant with a bit of a highlight will be more than enough to make these plants look good enough to put on your base. Now I can dry brush a reddish brown over the top of that trunk that's on the base, and as you can already see, there is so many textures going on here, and that's for free. All of this stuff was for free. I didn't have to do any hard work. There's no fancy techniques. A monkey could hold a dry brush and smack it at the model and create these similar techniques. Now, I'm not saying you're a monkey, but if you think that you paint like a monkey, well then, believe it, you can do this yourself. Of course, once all that's done, I'm going to put a matte coat over the top to make everything nice and flat, and then peel off that mask. Ugh! Nobody likes a mask, but you have to do it in this case because otherwise those speckles would be little lumps on this round section of the base, which would not go flat when I painted that later. And speaking of painting that, I'm going to use a gloss primer. This is from Kaleido, by the way, and the reason I'm using that is because it flattens very nicely and it also has a gloss look to it. Otherwise I'd have to paint it black, try to mask up all the sand, and then spray a gloss over the rest of the base, and I don't want to do that because masking is for dorks. Now we're going to start doing the skin tones, and to do that we want to put a zenithal on the model because you don't want to paint this over the top of black. You 100% can, but you will not get the full saturation that you're wanting to achieve. At least I want to achieve a very full saturation, and so this is why I put a zenithal down. I then put what I call a pinkle layer, which is literally just, it's purple or pink. Any one of those will work. So that's why I call it pinkle, because I go kind of in between of purple and pink, and it's pinkle. Now I'm going to put a red shadow. Normally I would prefer using a red ink for that shadow, but in this case, using what I have available, because red ink is out of stock, that's what I'm going to use. These are all of the skin tone colors that I'm going to be using, and starting out with brown rose, this is the color that sets up the skin tones. This is the main color that's underneath everything else. So of course everything you're building on top of this is very important. What you must notice here is that I'm not covering everything up. There is still a lot of pink and a lot of red left in the shadows. I often have people commenting and saying, but why put all these layers if you're just going to cover up everything underneath? It's not covered up. I know that you can't understand it. Try it for yourself, cover up all the layers and see how terrible it looks, and then try thinning down those paints, and don't cover up everything. You need to hold a little bit of restraint when you're painting these skin tones, because you need to leave behind some of those undertones that are creating the look of the skin tone. The whole reason the skin tone works, or this technique works, is because you've left behind the color that makes the skin look pink. Skin is not yellow, it's not a very light orangey color. It needs pink. Pretty much all skins need pink, and if you don't have that pinkness to them, your model looks dead. And that's exactly why at this point in the process of painting, my model looks dead. It looks like that skin does not look right. What is wrong with your skin? Here is the reason why it looks like that. You need this color, which unfortunately doesn't have the name on it anymore, but this is Orcish Dermis, and it's probably out of stock in the store near you, but if you can get your hands on this stuff, it is genuinely magic. This is the color that brings back your skin tone, and I honestly think you could paint a solid one base skin tone color on something and just spray some Orcish Dermis into the juicy bits, which is like underneath the armpits, behind the knees, around the buttocks, things like that. This will already give you a skin tone that is believable enough, and you don't even have to go any further. But if you want to add more depth to it and create more value, well then what I do is I'll put that Orcish Dermis down. This brings back my pinkness to the skin, and now we need a highlight, because skin shines very brightly in light. And so to do that, I put the brightest skin tone on, and then I will take some white ink and put that into that brightest skin tone, and I will put specular highlights. These are very small targeted highlight areas on the skin tones that I think will stand out if a light was hitting this person. Unfortunately, all of these skin tones are a little bit desaturated, and they're not quite yellow enough for a white person's skin tone. So I'm gonna take a ink, and this is a yellow ink, and I'll thin this down a lot to create a glaze and spray that over everything, because if you know anything about colors, yellow over the top of a pink creates an orange color, and all of this in harmony with each other works out very nicely. Now I quickly want to mention that I originally sprayed a yellow ochre over the top of the hair at first, and I thought this was going to work out well, but really yellow is just too yellow for a blonde hair, even for my style of painting. So I ended up using a slightly more desaturated color, and if you look on this leg, you will notice that I was very lazy when it came to prepping this model. To be fair, I wasn't actually lazy. I really wanted to go and buy One Piece cards at the One Piece store, because it was a release of the new One Piece OP16, and so I rushed a bit of the prep for this model, which meant that of course, even though I rushed, I actually ended up having to spend more time, but I wanted to keep this in so I could show you, if you figured out that you made a mistake somewhere, this is how you would go back and fix everything. Now obviously we need to run through all of the same steps as before, but in this case we don't have to be too specific about it. We do just want to kind of try and remember where we painted before. Once we've got most of the color to where it needs to be, we need to put the parts together so that we can marry up the highlights. Now, I'll be totally honest, it's never going to be perfect, but it's still going to be a whole lot better than a big scrumple across a leg. And I'll be even more honest with you, I didn't actually get all of that scrumple off. So the reality is, I probably should have gone back and scraped a little bit more of it off. By scrape, I mean sand, obviously. And we're here. It's done. We're there. I got my One Piece cards. You got to watch a video. Everybody's happy. She just has a slight bit of dimples on her legs. Tough cooks. Let's move on. Of course, she has got some straps on her, and all of these straps are going to be painted with Saigo brown. Simple as that. I want to try and get across in these videos that you do not have to go overboard and do major all these crazy highlights and shadows and all the rest of the nonsense. If you want to paint a model that is effective enough, you really can do this quite simply. The most complicated thing of this model is the skin tones, and if that, genuinely, once you've got your mind around it, you will find out that it's really not that complicated at all, and it's all following a very simple technique, and you can do this yourself. So let's move on to painting the bangles on this lady. And for all of the gold stuff, I'm going to use this bronze. It is not gold, I know that. It doesn't matter. It's a little bit darker than gold, but it's tough. This is what we're dealing with. It's the best color that I can for gold. Again, I hate gold. Gold is one of the worst colors in the world, especially when you need to do gold trimming. Thank God there wasn't any gold trimming on this model, but there is a little bit of trimming to do. We'll get to that in a sec, but for now, let's paint that loincloth. And I'm going to use this Mornfang brown to paint this, because that's going to give me a slightly reddish, but not too red, base color for, I think it's cheetah print. Maybe it's cheetah print or leopard print. It's definitely not leopard print. I think it's cheetah print, but I'm gonna obviously need to paint the belt for that as well. And so to paint that, I use Saigo brown. I hope that you are noticing that I'm using a lot of the same colors in different amounts on this model. It's very important that you homogenize all the colors. Yes, that is a very big fancy word, but don't worry about the fancy word. Just think similar colors. This is because you don't want to have just crazy differences in colors, because if you do this, it might end up not looking right. Like, if, for example, if I painted all of her bangles in different colors, it might not look as unison, basically. And to be honest, that's maybe not the right way of explaining it, because you definitely can do that. It's just that, in my opinion, if you were to paint something, you're a little bit confused, you're unsure about how to paint it, well, if it's a brown thing, just use the brown that you used earlier. Unless, of course, you have a model which has a whole load of brown things in it, in which case then you might need to change up the browns that you're using. But in this case, all the brown things have a purpose. They're either straps or they're spots on a friggin' loincloth. So I use the same color for all of these things because it just makes things homogenize a little bit. Now, on the stick that she's holding, which is actually a spear and not just a stick, technically it's a stick attached to a bone, which we then call it, doesn't matter. I'm getting a bit distracted. I painted that with a zenithal highlight, then I sprayed a brownie kind of color over the top. Yes, this is a slightly different brown to the rest of the browns, but that kind of makes sense because it's the stick. It's not made of the same substance as everything else. And then I obviously just dry brushed the bone, stick, stone. It's not even a bone. I would say this is a stone on the end of this thing. It's the arrowhead, and I feel like it could be a stone. In fact, that's probably what I thought when I was painting it. I cannot remember what I thought because I was just thinking, let me paint my model, ooga booga booga. And that's how we got here to this point of now painting the straps on her arms. And this is probably the only time that you really need to be actually super careful. Everything else up until now is quite laxy-daisy, let's say. You don't really have to put too much effort into making sure everything is perfect and clean and tidy. The only time that you need to do that is when you're doing the trimming stuff, like for example the bangles and the straps and all those things. That's when you need to be a lot more careful with your brush. And here I am painting now the mankini section. I mean, I guess you can't really call this a mankini because I don't know, actually. I'm not a fashion expert, and I don't really care. It is the print that is on covering up the boobs, because if you put boobs on the internet, then everybody's going to have a big fanny, and you don't want any of that happening. Equally, this is something that Abe is very good at doing, is the lady models. And I might just quickly take this time to explain to you the sponsor of this video. This is Abe 3D, and Abe creates some absolutely incredible models. His models are focused around the female variety, but he does work with multiple artists, and it's not just him that releases models over on his Patreon. I'm going to leave a link for his Patreon down below. If you like this kind of model, or you even like the nostalgia, I will say he likes to do a lot of old school nostalgic type characters, and if you like those kind of things, well then go check out his Patreon. 100% can vouch for the fact that these models go together very well. They've been thought of for the cuts. Everything like that is just really great, and the way that this stuff goes together is worth you checking out their Patreon. Thank you, Abe, for sponsoring this video. Let's now carry on painting the model. Obviously, now that we have got the torso done of this lady, I can also stick in her spear in her arm, and like I said, none of these things are glued. To be honest, the hands kind of fall out because there are gravity. The gravity will not hold those things in, so I put a bit of tape around the keys, and this just helps them stay in. Really, you could use a magnet, and Abe's keys and cuts are designed in such a way that you can definitely use a magnet. He also has thought about the weight of models and gives them nice long keys so that these things don't necessarily fall over in the future. Now, getting to the hair, all I did was dry brush some deck tan over the top, and then I sprayed some skeleton horde into the shadows, and on her face I sprayed a little bit of pink on the bottom portion of her eyes, and then some Griff Charger Grey on the top portion of her eyes. Once again, I've turned my airbrush down, but not so low that it spits. This time it's a little bit higher than that pressure, and this helps me spray very carefully and very precisely in the areas that I need to spray in. I'm now going to put some of that Magos purple over her lips. When you paint this, don't put a thick layer on. You want a very thin layer. You actually just want to glaze, and you are just tinting the color of the skin tone that's already on the lips. This gives you a very natural looking lip. And that's pretty much it for the lips. For the eyebrows, I used the same brown that I actually used for the loincloth and the bikini section, and this, I think, is perfect. It works out great. She is a blonde person, but you never want to paint blonde person's eyebrows blonde because it looks weird. I don't know why it does, but it just looks terrible. And sure, maybe they do have blonde eyebrows and you need to do that. Well, then in that case, tough, you have to do that. But in my case, I'm not trying to match this to anything realistic. It is just my style, and I can choose to do whatever I want to do. I obviously painted the eyelashes of her black, and also put Magos purple on the inside of the eyes before I came and cut back with some highlight skin, and this is basically an ivory kind of color, and I will paint this clearer of the eyes. Now, I have had someone say, I don't really like the color of your eyes because it's too white. I don't care, bro. Like, this is how I paint the models. You think I painted this entire model all this way up until this point and just randomly couldn't think or figure out how to paint the eyes? I don't think so. I have chosen to paint them this color because maybe you don't like how it looks, but I personally like how it looks. And if you don't like how it looks, well, choose a different color. Do a color that you do like, and if you like how this looks, well, then there's the color choices for you. Of course, once the eyes are fully painted, I'm going to put a specular highlight with white, and this is the only white I use on the model, and then I'll put a gloss varnish over absolutely everything that's supposed to be shiny. And when that's done, I can now put the hair onto this model, and to be fair, I did glue that, and after that I stuck this head on the model, and I can call this one done. And now that we're here, we have made it to the end of yet another Groundeffected video, and I really do hope that just if you take anything out of this video and you are thinking of painting a model, just go for it. Don't be scared of it. There's nothing that you can do that is so wrong unless you throw your model at a child walking past you outside. Anything you do is reversible. You can clean off the paint and you can redo it if you have to. Don't be afraid of painting models. Just go for it. You might find that this may change your life. And honestly, for me personally, painting models has 100% changed my life. If you watch this video while sitting on the toilet, please don't forget to wash your hands. Of course, click the like button, click subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with your mom, your gran, your sister, your auntie, all of those people. Share it with them all. Of course, maybe your uncle and your grandpa too, but for now, just share it to everybody you can, and I really appreciate you watching my video. If you want to be part of my Patreon, go check out the link down below. I have just recently realized that you can't actually click on that link in certain devices, so I will try to remember to put it up on the screen right now. And that's it from me. If you didn't like anything you saw in this video, well then that's your problem, and you should probably fuck off.